Welcome to the Conscious Radio Network. Become enlightened, have fun, and tell all your friends and family to share with everyone they know. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble while following us on Facebook, or find us on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Our podcasts can be found on Libsyn, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. Most of all, remember to go to our official website at consciousradionetwork.com for past episodes, future shows, and scheduling. We also want to welcome our international audience. Don't stop now. Enjoy the community. Subscribe or follow today.
This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Hello and welcome wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. This is Conscious Radio Network's The Seance Podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, please be sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And of course, don't forget to follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Our guests today are spiritual coaches, intuitive psychic mediums, Reiki healers, and paranormal investigators. With a unique blend of intuitive insight and practical wisdom, they guide individuals towards self-awareness, healing, and spiritual growth. From Reiki sessions that promote energetic balance to helping those impacted by the otherworldly, their compassionate approach empowers clients to unlock their true potential. Let's welcome to the show Stephanie and Natalie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. How did this journey start for you guys?
Well, for me, it really started, I was 5, and my grandfather had passed away. And so my sister and I were staying, she's younger, so she wouldn't necessarily remember this because she would have been like 2 at the time. Saw a ghost, it was in taking my nap because we couldn't go to the service because of our age and just type of thing. It was my mom's dad. And anyway, I see this ghost. I'm supposed to be upstairs taking my afternoon nap. I run downstairs. I tell this babysitter, she's like, "You're not getting out of your nap, la da 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 da." Anyway, you fast forward several years and we're talking about this as a family, and come to find out it's really when they were at the service, right around that same time for my grandfather. So it was probably him coming to say goodbye. And we're like, "Oh, it's interesting. Okay." And we never really let it go. It was something that stayed with us, that we never lost that, because so many little kids, all kids really, because they haven't been programmed or told or, taught cynicism yet. So they all see all these things. Yeah. And so that never was wiped out for me. And then my sister's got her own story, so I'll let her share.
Yeah.
So there's no real starting point, I think, as Stephanie's highlighting. And yep, I am the younger one. I just want to point that out. But just as we got older, it became more obvious that I always thought I was living in haunted houses, or that I could pick haunted houses, or I had no idea that the houses weren't haunted. They were just spirits that were around me. And I was noticing things that other people just simply didn't notice. So that kind of led us into big spiritual paths. And, we were raised Lutheran, and then we delved into other things like Wiccan and Buddhism and all of those things. And so I guess it was like 3 or 4 years ago, we started talking on a weekly basis. We would have our spiritual corner where her and I would meet, because we live in 2 different states. She lives in Montana, I live in Colorado. But we would Zoom once a week, and we would spend time together talking about tarot pulls and what the energy of the day felt like. And like, have you seen spirit? Have you heard anything? So from there, we just kind of kept growing. And that's where Immersive Spirit came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did the Lutheran upbringing shape your exploration and practices like tarot, crystal readings, and Buddhism? Because when people look at that, be like, "Whoa, hold on, that's sacrilegious. Come on, that's taboo."
Right.
How did that shift happen? Did people look at you funny, or you get shunned on, or you just kind of just went your way?
I think, because there was so much evolution around it, and I ended up back in the church for a little while and then back out of the church because it is, I don't want to say there's no good way, but there's a cult.
As gently as possible.
There can be, with the really heavy churches, a cult type feeling to it. And so that's where that programming comes back in. And I don't want to say brainwashing, but it is kind of brainwashing where you just say, you're going to hell. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. But I had, before going back in, I had gotten, I had studied Wicca, and my sister and I had practiced that for several years. And Buddhism, of course, which is just a beautifully peaceful philosophy and space to be in, and Native American, indigenous studies. So taking that back into it the second time, it almost made me over devout, because it was like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. And then I looked at it, and there was just like this awakening that happened, I don't know, 15 years ago or so, 10 years ago, that was like, no, this is absolutely crazy and off the charts. And I went right back out. And it's funny, because I don't think, if we have lost any friends from it or any family members or anything like that, I haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Because I think we have such a normal energy around that we've always overshared in terms of, especially me. I'm definitely an oversharer, as she will attest. So I've always had diarrhea of the mouth, where it's just like, did you guys see a ghost? Did you see that? Did you notice the stars? Does it feel weird? All these things? And so I think it's just expected. Quite honestly.
Well, and to be fair, we do, like, the church may not support the way that Stephanie and I think, or in the way that we've developed into how we believe the world works and how we believe the universal energy works for everybody. But we support the church, of course, because they have their place, and maybe not their practices, but overly, they have their place.
And everyone's got a path, right? This goes into, if you look even just astrologically and you look at somebody's chart, everyone's got a purpose. Even people who are mucking things up right now have a purpose and as to what they're supposed to be here. And it drives a collective energy for everyone else, so that everyone else can understand their purpose and their place better. So we're all doing our part. We're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. And do we believe in Jesus? Absolutely.
Yeah.
The same as I believe in Buddha, and the same as there are just the masters that have come before. But I think for me personally, and how I look at it, I think a great deal has been manipulated by man, because things are written by man. And I think that has been manipulated to be advantageous to man versus what is advantageous to the community.
Yeah. And that's right on point when you said there's a place for everything, everyone. But we got to be careful, by discernment, a level of discernment of being able to go, all these people, all this crazy stuff happening. Everybody has a place to share their views, their whatever they have to contribute to it. But it's like, okay, we got to step back and observe it first and go, okay, in which way should I have a part in this?
Right.
I think that immersive spirit, like, we were born at the exact right time. And of course we were, because that's how the universe works. That we're here to help people who are starting to question those religious structures that are built for greed. And when they start stepping back and having questions, we can answer stuff for them on a spiritual level that their church refuses to answer.
Yeah.
I think
that's eye openers, I guess.
It is, yeah, because the benefit is we've had both sides. So we grew up going to Bible schools or Awanas or, and doing all those different pieces of it. So we understand, and we understand where they are or where they live. And if you love it and appreciate it, then please do. Right. But that doesn't mean you can't have a spiritual side to you and still explore these things.
Yeah. We have community members that are devout Christians. And that, It's not religion, it's spirituality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's taking the
Yeah.
dogma out of it. It's taking the organized out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. And when you mention like the cult aspect of it,
Mhm.
it's sad to see that there's so many, especially the Catholic Church. There's so many churches. There's so many. It's like, whoa, if you got over 4,000 churches and they're all, there's one basis for it. But it's like when you have your own viewpoints and different, it's like then you lose the church.
Right.
You lose the original purpose. Not
Right.
purpose, but yeah, you lose
Of bringing a
the
community
power.
together.
Yeah.
That bringing something together to celebrate and honor and
Or
and
even teach what Jesus taught.
Yeah.
Like
the
we are so
authenticity.
far away from that. I've read the Bible twice. The stuff that's coming out of people's mouths right now is absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And
And you
I
can't-
mean, eventually we're gonna get past that, and we'll walk away from these people. But my goodness,
but when somebody's talking, I'm a huge Christian and I'm this, and this, and then the thing they say next, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
but you don't practice what you're,
right?
thanks.
Do you know who Jesus is? Did you?
Right? Yeah.
Did you get to that part in the book? Just
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And some of the ancient texts out there, long before Christianity,
Mhm.
and some of these other authors out there that are digging some of this stuff up. It's like, and through archaeology, there's a lot of stuff even today that's still being found. Some ancient texts from the Dead Sea Scrolls have been out for a long time, but we're starting to translate these things and whatnot. And even through the ancient Sumeria, there's a book, I haven't read it yet, but it's called the Sacred Mushroom and the Cross. And if you haven't read it, it is, from what I hear, from what I've read thus far, it is outstandingly interesting when you want to go back into. It's been translated. It's a book that pulls together ancient Aramaic and from the original Dead Sea Scrolls and from the original texts long before Christianity.
Okay.
And how Judaism and Christianity started.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Where did it actually come from? And where did all these world religions, what was the first one?
Right.
Right.
And yes, and it's fascinating you say that because there are a lot of people that are having, and maybe that's where it comes from. I have to write down the name of the book. That's why I was grabbing a pen. But that are talking about, look, if you read a lot of the older Egyptian, or as you're talking about these transcripts, the Bible is kind of a repeat.
Yeah. I mean, look at the books of Enoch. When they took the books of Enoch out. They're now starting to slowly re-release some in other versions, not the Bible, but, some of these other authors are going, oh, here's some of the original manuscripts that were taken out. And look what Enoch, look what he went through, Methuselah, Moses, who they really were.
Right. Right.
Like,
books are written at perspective levels, and the Bible is a book.
The Bible's a book. It's written by man, edited by man, proofread by man. So, it's the same as going to any editor or publisher. They're going to take out the parts that they don't agree with.
Exactly. And they don't want you to know.
Right? This never happened.
We don't know what you're talking about.
And we're going to tweak it a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of allegory and a little bit of symbolism.
For our knowledge, because that's interesting for us to know, but you don't get to see it.
Yeah.
And it was called The Mushroom and the Cross?
The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's get into the work that you guys do let me bring up your website there. So for those who are watching, it'll be much easier to jot this down. But it's called Immersive Spirit. What can people expect from your website, and where? Actually, call it out. I'll let you tell everybody where they can find you and what to expect when they get to your website.
Go for it, Nat.
Oh, normally this is your point of fame, so I was staying quiet. Yeah, so you're scrolling immersivespirit.com, and really there's a plethora of things that are available to really meet somebody where they're at, because our whole goal is to get everybody living their soul-led life, which is aligning the 4 pillars of your soul: your spirit, your heart, your mind, your body, getting everything going in one direction. Because I think if we can get everybody going in the right direction for themselves, we're going to be a happier place overall, and we're going to be happier people. So that's kind of our nuts and bolts of it. We have a lot of different ways to deliver that and meet people where they're at. Like, we have a 6-week Living Your Soul program. We have a 12-month, which is like the fully immersive experience for Immersive Spirit.
Yeah.
But we have a 6-week course for the people who aren't really sure maybe where they want to go. And we start you off with 5 free tools, and we have a manifestation. And we also can help you. Like, Steph and I are both psychics. We're both mediums, so we can help you in that aspect. Or if you're haunted and you want some help for your house, or you're scared, we can.
Or you want to learn more about how to
Right.
embrace and figure that out for yourself. We're happy to teach that.
So what I missed, Steph, because I was just going.
No, it's all good. It's like, yeah, because everyone is psychic. Everyone is medium. There's no gift involved. It is practice. It is, and it's owning it. And some people have different levels of clairs, any of the claircognizance, clairvoyance, whatever. And so it's figuring out, okay, what's best for you? Where do you tap in? Where do you feel like this connection to the spirit? Where do you meet with your guides? So in terms of, like, we're doing a reading for somebody, we're still talking to them about their spirit guides. And if that's a new concept for them, talking about it.
Well, and even for folks who don't want to be psychic at all, they just want a job change, because they're like, people sit back and go, who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing? What is my purpose? We can help them define where they really want to be. We can give them the right direction, not tell them who they are, but allow them to discover who they are through our courses.
Yeah, it's a part of a journey. It
is.
If you take that power away from somebody on the journey of finding out who they are, it kind of spoils the adventure.
Right.
So
for sure.
And
all the things that we're supposed to learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Because our time this time around is all around, what are you supposed to get from this experience? And if somebody just comes along and says, oh, you're supposed to do this, and then you marry this person, and then you do this, and then you do this, you have not led that life, and you're doomed to repeat it. So just learn. The more you learn.
Yeah. Just have your experiences, and let us help you define how you want to experience this timeline.
Right. We're guides.
Yeah.
We're giant mentors, coaches, guides. And yes, we offer the services. Yes, we do all those things because that's what we love to do, and being helpful. However, we can be of help and of service to others. That's the goal. Yeah.
Helping, especially helping somebody try to find our authenticity.
Yes.
Because we all want to fit in. That's inherent. I mean, it's from the caveman days. I mean, we're all, that's where that fear all started from. We all want to fit in. We're afraid, blah, blah, and we just want to be part of the community. Well, you don't have to be, especially today. I mean, you're not going to walk out your front door and get, attacked by a lion. Well, depending on where you live, but you might
be living in Las Vegas. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But now it's like we can be solo. We can just be on our own for a little bit to, we don't have to fit in.
Yeah.
Now what practical steps can our listeners and our audience take to help them on this daily journey, without giving too much information away from your programs and stuff like that, to help live this more authentic self?
It's funny because we just are, like I said, we have a podcast as well, High Heels to Happy Feels. And we just did our episode today that will get out later this afternoon or this evening. But we were talking about exactly this. Because of the anxiety, what would be those things around today, the environment we're sitting in right now? And correct me now, we had, of course, our shadow work, and then we had grounding, and we had breath work / meditation. And, our courses go deeply, especially the framework for living your soul and the foundation for spiritual living, because they are that's our thing, right? We are living intentionally. We are huge on shadow work and journaling. And basically, what does that mean, right? It is digging in and finding out why it is we react to the certain things that we do. What is it that is creating what you feel is a sense of trauma versus just something that you need to deal with? Or why is it that you don't like this person? Is that something reflective about you? That's your shadow work. Your grounding is, it doesn't have to be a big spiritual, I'm deeply rooted, I'm the core of the center and all of this. It can be at my feet or in the ocean. I feel the water coming over the tops of my feet. I feel connected. I'm calm, right? Boom. And it's grounding. So it's however you look. We gave a whole bunch of examples. And then your breath work, we did a couple of examples with that. But it's a very high stressful time for people. And sometimes just taking that minute to do the 4 box or the 4-7-8 breathing techniques that we talk about can go a long way.
Yeah.
It was really about I think the first step for everybody is being mindful and knowing who you are right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not what you're supposed to be doing. You can do that through our courses. You can do that through the 5 free tools and, focus on those 4 pillars that Immersive Spirit focuses on, but just getting to presence right now. So you don't feel so disconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk, a lot of podcasts. I've spoken about it a lot on this show, not on every one, but it always comes up, and I'm going to bring it up now.
All right.
Hey, we're ready.
Because we are right on that subject.
Okay.
Is today so many people just feel disconnected, and there's such an easy thing to do. And one is it's called paying attention. Just be apprehensive with what's going on around you.
Uh-huh.
And my question is, what are your thoughts? And give me your input on people paying attention to the synchronicities that are happening around them on a day-to-day basis, moment-to-moment basis, using that information, journaling that information, and pull in other information, like how do they feel at that moment? What is that internal dialogue saying to them? Overthinking things. How does that all fall into place in reconnecting?
It's so funny. Like we have signs, synchronicities, and symbols in almost every course we have. We have a tracker. We tell you what to watch for. And not chase numbers, because there's a lot of angel number chasers out there. They're like, oh, I see, 111 every day, all the time. Right. And maybe that is synchronous for them, but they could also be a number chaser. So you've got to feel it, and then you've got to allow yourself to really experience, what is that trying to tell you? But there's a balance there, because we also don't want folks becoming hyper aware, pushing them into anxiety, because now they're taking everything in as if it's a personal communication.
Yeah, dependency. And what are your thoughts on dependency? People being over dependent on this stuff.
And that's always a slippery slope. And I think it's highlighted in most of our courses that, like, divination or your spirit communication or anything that you use needs to be telling you that you are on the accurate path. It doesn't need to be giving you the answers.
Right.
So while yes, it can point you in a direction and help you stay on your path, but it's not saying, hey, yeah, you should buy that red car.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We were working with a member last year, and we were doing coaching with her, and she was like, I'm having the worst time just kind of getting this guidance from my spirit guides and all this. And we said, well, why don't you just tell them? And you tell them what you want to do. And then if it's not the right direction, then you're going to get your sign. Oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Just live.
Don't wait for it to happen. Don't wait for, oh, I saw 3 crows today. Crows are kind of my thing here lately, but I saw 3 crows today. And so that's a sign, and I'm supposed to go do this. It could just be that there's a big dumpster right there and 3 crows are hanging out, even though, I love them, but really.
Unless you ask for 3 crows, then.
Exactly.
Okay,
and for me, it's
go.
fine right now, because there's been crows every morning at a certain time outside. It's continual. But sometimes I just hear them, whatever, but that's my thing. But I'm not, I thank them. I don't look at it like, oh, what does that mean for me today? Not every time. Sometimes I'm like, interesting. Other times it's, thank you.
Yeah, but
Right
I
there.
think that's the important connection, though.
Yes.
So you don't rely on it. You're not answering any questions there. But in 3 weeks, when those 3 crows show up and you didn't ask for them and they haven't been there consistently, and you're like, okay, then you tap in and what does this mean?
Yes.
How am I feeling right now? Then you start scripting out what those synchronicities maybe look like for you and what that symbol can mean.
Right. But the dependency part of it that you'd asked about, it's when you're like, I need to go to my cards. I need to ask my tarot cards what I should do. I need to use my pendulum. It's like, you need to take a breath and you need to go inside. And that is because those are tools, amazing tools, powerful tools, but ultimately they are giving you the information based on what the energy is coming from you and back to you. So if you're running to that, looking for that, you already know the answer. You're just looking for a different answer. So why? That's shadow work.
Well, and it's like going to one psychic, asking the question and being like, that's not the answer I wanted, and going to another psychic.
Right. You doctor shop, right? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to hear, so I'm going to go try this one.
And I've had that through quite a few clients. Is if I'm doing a reading for somebody, and I'm delivering the information, delivering the message, they're looking at me like deer in headlights.
Yeah.
But I tell them, I'm like, just take that information with you. It may not make sense right now.
Right.
But it will. It may. Most of the time, yeah, it does. It does make sense later. A day later. There was some a year later.
I've had a year later too. They email me and they're like, you know what? You were right on.
You're like, what was I right on about?
I'm like, I don't remember what we were even talking about.
But yeah, it's true. Because those messages that we get and things that come through are directions for them that could be now. It could just be warnings. It could just be, hey, just pay attention. This is on your path.
And some of these symbols, and these messages obviously mean nothing to me. I'm just delivering it. It's like, I have no idea. Even though I'm thinking, I'm going, what the heck is that? Right. I'm like, what?
Do you find yourself a lot of time we're just conduit. We're just.
Yeah. And I'm, some of the symbols were just like weird. Like, I have no idea, but okay, I'll
not dictionary items for you, huh?
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And at first I'll see the client's reaction, and then suddenly, like before the session is done, they're like, "Oh my God!" It clicked. They're like, "What you just said earlier that you didn't." They're like, "Now I understand."
I love that when that happens. I love that for them because they're understanding. Yeah, that's amazing when that happens.
Yeah.
And there was something else too. There was Reiki. So you guys are also Reiki Reiki masters.
I am. Yeah.
You are.
I am.
Cool. I'm familiar with it. I'm definitely familiar with it. How implementing this in with it, especially people wouldn't be watching the show if they didn't have any some understanding of it.
Right.
But how does your practice as a Reiki master, I would not necessarily differ from others, but is there anything that you do in your practice that might be a little unique?
I feel a sneeze coming on too.
Salute.
Achoo. Yeah, look at the light. Look at the light. Okay.
Right.
So I don't know if there's any, I think everybody has a little bit of different, because there's different ways we bring, but for me, I'm very open about, number one, inviting their guides, my guides, but after permission to share energies and that type of thing. But my Reiki is all distant. So I think that makes it a little different for people when they're in a session to be on a Zoom and to still have that wow kind of experience, or, hey, I felt you were, and I'm going, yeah, you were really weird right there. And it's pretty amazing. I think things that are different is because there's not all the being able to place the crystals directly on them, or to actually deal with the oils directly with them, or, those scents and the five senses in the most physical way. It's being able to communicate that in such a way that they are comfortable and relaxed and in that moment, and that they feel everything and feel that energy shifting in their bodies, because it is ultimately about their energy and their chakras and balancing. So yeah, I think it's every teacher's got a different, or every practitioner and teacher has a different way of doing that. For me, it's just, okay, we're going to settle in. And sometimes I'm sitting in a chair. Sometimes I'm sitting on my little lounge chair over here, and we just settle down, and I'll place the crystals either on myself, or hold them if I'm called to feel, different stones for different people. Cause I mean, you understand if somebody's root chakra, you're like, oh yeah, I feel it. I'm grabbing, and yeah.
I used to implement different, try to bring all the senses into the sessions, with sound, light, the colored, the different colored light, with each of the chakras, and then the crystal singing bowls for each of the chakras.
Nice.
It's like, whoa.
It is. And I have bowls, and you have all those things, and it's just, it's about what do they want on their end as well. But yes, for the colors, I will definitely bring that in, because we'll go through and talk about, especially if they don't know their chakras, or don't, they have a very, very light understanding. We might go through and talk about those first, so that there's kind of a teaching moment before so they understand their own body and exactly what's about to happen before we go through it. And then I'll invite, if they don't have, if you want me to play music, I'm playing music. If you want to play your own, please do. If you'd rather be in silence, I'll mute, and we will do that as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Really sets the experience for them, because some people in meditation or in those moments, my choice of that music might be very different than what their choice might be to settle down. And so I want everyone to have that experience. So I can tell them, if you're an incense person or candle person, get those things going now, but find what you like, and it sets your environment for success. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to spirit guides, archangels, any of those, what is a good practice for those out there that are like, do I have spirit guides? If I do, how can I connect to them? What are your thoughts on at an elementary level, helping people connect to their spirit guides and or ancestors?
Right.
So anybody on the spirit team, I love connection. If you're not feeling connection, first of all, everybody has spirit guides. All of us do. The best way to maybe start connecting is to just talk to them in the morning, even though it's going to be a one-way conversation, or you're going to feel like it's a one-way conversation as you start, and then be present. Like the things we've been talking about, watch for things that happen during your day that just kind of make it a little bit easier for you. And that's the kind of synchronicities you need to start paying attention to. And then maybe, declutter some space in your mind, in your heart, in your house, because as you move things out, other energies can enter, and that gives your spirit team opportunities to be there with you.
Yeah. The physical clutter is a definite, and I feel it all the time. Not all the time, but my ancestors and spirit guides are always doing that. I'll walk around the house and they're like, you need to get rid of that. You don't need that. That's not going there. And
right. And you've discerned that that's their voice, and you're like, okay, I get it. A lot of people just think, okay, I'm just being lazy, I'm not getting it done, so I just keep reminding myself. And it's like, no, that's your spirit team saying, hey, let's do this.
Intervention. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And doing readings, it's the same thing, because when you're doing readings or even Reiki, when I'm doing Reiki for people, Natalie and I both will invite the entire spirit team into that space. So it's your spirit guides, it's your ancestors, it's the elements and elementals, it is the masters, it is spirit, it is whoever needs to be there to relay a message to that person, or whoever from our team needs to support because of what's about to happen. Be at the table.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what's going to be happening with me was it July? Yeah, in July. I'll be going to Mount Shasta.
Oh,
and
jealous.
have you been there?
No, I want to go.
Oh, let's all go.
Alien adventures, or what are you going? I want to go.
Yeah, I think it's July 10th to the 15th.
Ah,
Yeah, 10th to the 15th.
nice.
A friend of mine here in Florida, she puts all these things together, and I think there's like a group of 10 from Mount Shasta once a year, and then a group of I don't know how many, Peru.
Oh,
But she won't be
wow.
doing the Peru one until not next year, but the year after. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I want to go to Peru.
Right?
Me too. God, what an awesome
Gate of
Yes.
the Gods,
opportunity.
going to the Gate of
Yes.
the Gods. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Heck yeah.
But
So
I'll
what are you
keep
going
you
to do
guys
at
posted
Shasta?
on. I'll share you some of her information.
Yes, please.
So yeah.
Yeah, do.
Yeah.
So before we start wrapping up, again, where can people find you?
Immersivespirit.com is our main place because you can find all of our social links there. You can find our podcast details there. Of course, our second biggest is YouTube, which is where, because we post all of our, Natalie does daily cards and the draws. We put our podcast out there, amongst lots of other places. But if you go to immersivespirit.com, you're going to find links to all of this other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also noticed, I wanted to share this because I know this is important when you are trying to build a spiritual location to do some
Yeah.
work.
Okay, God.
So you do have a GoFundMe
Yeah.
looking for a location. And
We should tell the story about how that
Yeah,
started.
this is not our proudest moment because we don't ask for money from
Ever.
anybody.
Yeah.
So that was a fool's journey.
GoFundMe's been a standing joke for us for like 20 years that we're like, oh my God, why would people open this? We were doing a podcast, guesting on a podcast last November, and Natalie was here in Montana visiting me. She hits the mute button and says, we got to talk. My spirit guides just gave me direct details. It involves real estate as soon as this is over. And I'm like,
what?
okay. And we're sitting
It was
across.
very strange. It never
Really
has
good.
happened before or since.
Yeah.
And afterwards, she goes, okay, so they gave me directions to the spot we're supposed to open our physical store.
Wow.
And I'm like, we haven't even got to a point where we want to talk about a physical store. What are you talking about?
That's not in the business plan.
Right? And I am in a small town, northwest Montana. Small. Not where we'd anticipated opening a store either. It is northwest Montana for a spiritual store. Yeah.
Not the best fit probably for supported community stuff.
Not, there's stuff, but there's not a lot. It's not a huge community. So anyway, we jump in my truck because, of course, I've got a big diesel
Yeah,
truck.
because they gave me left-right directions.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
wow.
keep physical directions. So I said, you just tell me where, because I'm trying to picture it in my head where she's talking about. And I'm like, where? On Central? Because this is on Main Street. And so she goes, just ask for a target. What'd you say? Ask for not a target, a marker. Ask for a marker from my guides. So I did that before we left. I'm like, give me a marker. They said, there's going to be a white sign out front. Okay, a white sign. I'm thinking for sale sign or whatever. Anyway, we follow these directions. It literally drops us right in front of a business that is empty for sale on Central in town with a big white sign in the window for sale.
Yeah. So, and then we're like, what do we do with this?
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, okay. So we felt called to open a GoFundMe. So yes, the nutshell is we do have a GoFundMe. We are horrible about promoting it, horrible about asking for money because we just feel like
We just don't.
It just feels, it's so weird. But Spirit was very clear. Put it up. So we did.
So we took an action step. As
We
you
did,
have to.
we did what we're supposed to and put it out there and
Right.
said, here you go, universe. There's a GoFundMe.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. You can't argue with Spirit when they
No,
when
you
they tell you to
cannot.
do something, you do it.
Well, neither one of us has ever in our lives had exact directions. Go left, then your first right, then your second left, then a right, and boom, we're in front of the doors going, oh.
It was strange. It was very
And
strange.
they'd given her little visuals about this green and this awning and this thing. And so we're like, well, there it is. It's right freaking there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not before or since has that happened. I'm
No.
waiting for the next sign.
I know. We're like trying to
I'm
go,
open.
really? Here? This one? Are you serious? And it's still available. So I don't know.
Wow.
I know. So here we are. Yeah. But yes, thank you. We do have a GoFundMe.
That was
You're
a long story longer.
But we had to explain why, because we are not the
Oh, yeah.
GoFundMe kind of people. That was a you want to talk spirit guide people and listening to your guides, that is a giant all guides.
And definitely people, all our listeners out there, for our audience, definitely listen to that inner voice. When you hear it, when you feel it, definitely act. Because I'll tell you just a really quick one is I learned to listen in the way that this message had came through a couple years. Actually, it's now more than a couple years. It was just before hurricane season here in Florida. Yeah. And sitting out in the backyard, and I do work with Native American spirits. And there's one in my backyard named Running Bear. Oh. And I wasn't sure if it was him. I think this was like before I realized he existed. And I felt it and I heard it. It was like, cut your trees, trim your trees now. It's like, now. And I'm like, well, I don't have a chainsaw.
Right.
I'm like, I just really can't. And it was like, I just felt the energy. I felt it like, you need to do this. Like, now, start working on this.
Yeah.
I literally got onto like Angie's List or one of those programs, those things, and start looking for local contractors. 2 weeks later, they cut the trees. Less than a week later, the hurricane came. This was like one of those spontaneous things, like, what? Literally a week after that, the hurricane came, and it did tear some limbs down. But then I heard that other voice going, no, it would have been a lot worse if you
You bet.
Wow.
You were prepared. And that's
Keep listening, folks.
Yep.
Pay attention.
Listen.
That's listening. Yep. That's paying attention to the signs. If you have something in the pit of your stomach, if you have those little tingles on the back of your neck, spidey senses, mother's intuition, pay attention. That is all part of your intuition, part of your guide's communication. All of those little things are just all part of it. It's so magical.
Yeah.
And lucky you saved a lot of trees.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I only have one. I have one in the front and one in the back of the house. Big oak trees. So I love those things. It's like, but then when they trim them, it's like, what's left?
Right.
There's nothing left of the tree. It's like, what happened?
But there was also nothing for it to pull it down and onto your house.
Exactly. Yeah. Less wind resistance.
Yeah.
So before we close the show, I'll give each of you an opportunity to offer our audience a quick takeaway, words of wisdom.
So we've already talked about some pretty good words of wisdom.
A lot.
we have. And I really, my biggest thing, do your gratitudes every morning and do your gratitudes every night. Say them out loud as your feet touch the floor and as your feet leave the floor. Make sure you're staying with your vibe a little higher.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I would say, to add on to that, when you're doing your gratitudes, if you're writing them, use that moment to do a little shadow work at the same time. You can say, dear diary, dear universe, dear God, whoever you want to. But if it comes into your mind, write it down because it's meant for you in some capacity. And then you can examine it later. Because that will
declutter your mind.
Yep.
Keeping that space open for spirit.
Yep. And then as you're doing that, you can practice your breathing. You can think about affirmations, all of those things, because then everything else we talked about earlier, it's easier to incorporate and bring it all into your day. And instead of sounding like chores or tasks or wait, what did they tell me to do? And I got to go find my list. It's like, oh, nope. Just take a quick 4-box reading. Breathe in, breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it go. Yeah.
Yeah. Taking notes. Got to take notes throughout the day. I
think there's one more I'm going to add. Let them. I know that there's all sorts of authors talking about, and there's different books on it that are amazing. Mel Robbins has got one. But we teach one of our, I think it's Living Your Soul, isn't it? We've got a huge part of that is about let them. Let me have that great day. Let me have that energy. Let me do these things. Let them be late. Let them deal with that. Let them have those issues, right? And that's your way of letting it go. It's part of that protective bubble. So just thinking about
let them be who they are.
Let them be that way. It's okay.
And let me be the way I want to be.
Yep. It's not yours to own. Let them own that.
Yeah. That's definitely powerful and a good way to say it, because it's let it be.
Let it be.
Wonder who said that. I think that was in a movie. I'm not gonna do free promotion, but
Right? Might have been a song too.
yeah, that was a good song. Namaste, my friends. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste.
Honored to
Thank
have
you.
you with us today. Thank you very
It's
much.
wonderful to be here. Thank you for having us.
You are very, very welcome. I'm kind of hesitant whether I should do the close like I did, like when we tried to open it up, but I'll just do the quick close. But anyway, thank you everybody for listening and watching Conscious Radio Network's The Seance Podcast. And until next week, we will see you next time.